Hey, ADNC family. Emma Ansa here. How's everybody doing today? It is Hump Day, and I am here with a very special guest and a very special lady. Her name is Sheila, and she's going to share a really compelling story. Really compelling story. And I tell you, I was really blown away when I saw her videos talking about her story. We're talking about love and the ultimate betrayal. I mean, it's like a woman's worst nightmare. Really, literally, a woman's worst nightmare. And I'm just going to set the stage a little bit. Sheila is from Cameroon, and she currently lives in Houston, and she was in a relationship with her childhood buddy. Like they've known each other since they were tweens, right, Sheila?
Yes.
And who better if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody? Who better than somebody you grew up with, right? Little did she know that that literally was going to be the ultimate betrayal. So we're going to get into this conversation. I do think that a lot of people will be able to relate to it. And even if not relate to it, at least learn a lesson from this. So, Sheila, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for even having the courage to tell your story. I know there are a lot of people who wouldn't even want to, just out of embarrassment, out of shame, whatever it is. So I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and have this conversation with me. Before we get started, I just want to ask you, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Well, Emma, thank you for the introduction. So, I'm Sheila. I am, like Emma just said, I am doing good from the little synopsis she just gave. I think I'm doing good. This is not something that is new. This happened over a year ago. Well, we separated a year and a half ago, so it's been a minute, and it took me a while to think about it to decide. Okay, this is a story that needs to be heard because I'm just sharing my story as a precautionary tale for other women, to learn from it. And yeah, and I think because I'm doing good and I'm in a mental mind frame to share my story, yeah, I can tell that I'm physically good and I'm talking about this without being emotional, without, being just feeling the pain all over again. So yeah, I'm doing good. I've healed, and this is just the time for me to talk, to start talking.
And I really appreciate that you are, again, taking the time to talk. And I really just want to say that I'm sorry that this has even happened to you. I really am. But
Thank
let's just get into it. Before we get into it, though, I can already see that there's some people in this chat that want to be your boyfriend.
you.
They
So
want to be.
fast.
They're ready to come to Dallas, sis. They're like, I need to come to
Oh,
Dallas or
Houston.
Houston. They're ready to get on a flight. Let me just tell you that right now. But
Mhm.
let's just get into this. So this, as I said, this is your childhood friend. You guys
Yeah.
have known each other since 12, 13. He left Cameroon and he moved to Minneapolis, and
Correct.
you living in Houston. And the
hmm
two of you always stayed in contact, correct?
Yes,
So
correct.
tell us how we got to the point where you guys decided you're getting together, you're dating. Next thing you know, you're engaged.
So it's a long story. So, like I said, we were friends. He moved out of the country, Cameroon, in 2003, and I moved in 2004. So I went to Germany first before I came to the US. And back then, we always kept in contact. The day before he came to the US, I saw him because he had called me. He told me, "Hey, I'm flying out tomorrow," and he told me where he was, and I went and met him there and just said hello, and then he left. And then I moved to Germany. We kept in contact with High. Back then, it was High Five. It wasn't Facebook. And after that, when I moved to the US, we kept in contact with Facebook. We've just kept in contact all the time, always. And we were just friends. We've always been friends. He's a very friendly person, and he's also someone who has a lot of female friends. So most of my our classmates, like a few of them, also kept in contact with him. However, somewhere sometime in 2018, because we usually joke and we speak in French, English, like we speak a language that is called Franc-Anglais. So it's like French and English. So we speak a lot of that. So at some point he joked in French and he's like, hey, on va faire l'enfant quand, which means when are we going to have a child together? And this is in 2018. Yeah, this 2018. And he has never said that before. And this date is very important because I'm yet to release the part where I talk about why it's that year that he started asking me to have his baby. So from 2018 to 2022, each time I talk to him, he will joke about me having his child. He will tell me, oh, you're going to be such a good mom. I see how you take care of your nieces and your nephews, and that's the truth. I'm very motherly and I just have that instinct, to raise children, teach them. I like to teach, like race, and like I do that naturally. So he saw that in me and he kept telling me, you're going to be such a good mom. Oh, let's have a child together. So initially from 2018 to 2022, he would joke about that. And I would just joke back and be like, oh, leave me alone. What's wrong with you? I'm not your girlfriend. Like, are you serious? Why do you want me to have a child with you? What's wrong with you? So I'll just joke and it's just going to be a joke. And I would joke back and just brush it off. So I kept brushing it off. And then in 2022, he asked again. And he was a little serious this time around. And he's like, girl, I keep asking you, let's have a child together. You think I'm joking. I'm actually not joking. Then that's when I now scolded at him. I'm like, dude, stop threatening me with baby mama. It talks.
But we should also, I think it's also important to note that you had not seen him since he left Cameroon. Right?
Yes,
so you're just talking, you're just communicating, and he's just randomly asking you to be his baby mama.
Yes, we have not met each other since 2003. And this is between 2018 and 2022. So in 2022, I told him, stop threatening me with baby mama talks. Like, what's wrong with you? That's not a compliment. If you like me, tell me you like me. Let's be together. Like, what is all this? You've been saying this for the past few years and I keep brushing it up, but I'm tired of hearing it. Like, I don't want to hear that anymore because I don't find that funny.
It's not endearing at all. It's not. It's not cute.
Exactly. So he stopped. And then the following year, exactly a year after, August 2023, he calls me. He's like, his cousin is having a baby shower in Houston and he wants to come. But however, he actually wants to take the opportunity to come and meet me. So he comes to my house and we're talking and he's like, oh, Sheila. So when he was leaving, that's when he's like, oh, Sheila, I've always loved you. You've always been my childhood crush. When I was leaving Cameroon, I called you because I wanted to see you before I leave. And back home, we're both from Africa. Back home, when people are traveling out, they don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
it's a secret. But he called me. He called me and told me he's leaving. Oh, he wants to see me. And I went and met him, and he left the next day. So he's like, you can tell that when I did that, you've always been my childhood crush, and all of that. And I want us to be together. I know last year you were mad at me that I kept talking about you having my child. It's just because I didn't know how to tell you I want us to be. He told me he wants to marry me. So that's how he came. That was the last week of August 2023. So when he came, he left. We saw just that one time. And I was like, well, the last time I saw him, I don't think he was this tall. I mean, he was literally taller than me. I was like, okay, well, I've been joking with this guy. But, that's when I picked an interest in him. Like, literally, I'm like, oh, he's not that bad.
Did you think he was hot? Did you think he was hot and handsome?
Yeah, I was like, yeah. Yeah,
the last time you saw him, you were 12 or 13, right? So now you're seeing him like 20 years later.
Yeah, the last time I saw him, we were both. He was 17 and a half, 18, and I was 18, 19, because I'm a few months older than him. So okay. We had just graduated high school when we left. So
Kellen is saying that I should hook you up with somebody here in Canada.
No. So when I looked at him, I'm like, okay, well, he's not that bad, So that's when we started. From that day, we started talking every single day till now in December, the first weekend of December 1st to be exact. He came to Houston, and that was the first weekend we started dating. So that's how we left from friendship to dating.
So you guys start dating. He wants to marry you, but you guys are in a long distance relationship, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
now you're navigating the distance, but there was the first red flag, or at least what I feel is probably the first red flag, which is
Mm-hmm.
that every time you said you wanted to come to Minneapolis, it
Mm-hmm.
was met with excuses, right?
Yes. Yes.
But he always came to Houston to see
He
you.
he always came to Houston. So when we start dating the first weekend of December, he came Friday the first, he left Sunday the third. And we hung out, but nothing happened between us. And he told me he's fine, he's gonna wait, and when I'm ready, and he kept telling me, Sheila, you're gonna be my wife. He was very enthusiastic. So he literally convinced me to be with him, you know, and he knew that I wouldn't have a child with him if I wasn't married to him, because the marriage was a condition I put forth. I think he thought that I was turning 40 and I was going to be desperate, because in the African tradition, most men think that women, when they're getting to a certain age, they're desperate for marriage, or they're desperate to have kids.
Yeah,
And he,
and as a
so he,
Ghanaian, I can relate to that. Is that as in the Ghanaian culture, you're not supposed to be single at the age of 40. So would
exactly.
you say that you were actually in love with him, or was there some pressure? Were you feeling some pressure from, the family, the whole African culture? Did you feel like you were actually genuinely in love with him?
Truth be told, from the beginning, I wasn't. Yeah, because I kind of got convinced into this relationship. And when I saw him after 20 years, I found him attractive, because I was like, the last time I saw him, I didn't think he was this tall, and all of that. So from then now, I started now convincing myself, like, okay, well, I mean, I can make this work. This can work. He's not that bad, and he has a good job right now. So I just put all those things together, and I was single, and I wanted to have a child too. I want to have a child, not like I wanted, like I don't want it now. I still want to. So, and but with him, I had said to myself, why will I have a child with him? He's not Jeff Bezos. You cannot, if you're not Jeff Bezos, why do you want to come make me a baby mama?
She wants Jeff Bezos money, okay?
From the start. No, for real. Because for him to sit and throw in baby, 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 baby without wanting relationship, I can be someone's baby mama, but what are the conditions? You get what I'm saying?
Of
Like,
course.
what are the conditions for me to have this child? Because I'm gonna raise this child by myself. How? So for him, I was like, no, if I want to have a child with him, we have to be together. We have to raise these children together. So
Absolutely.
I'm the one who put forth those conditions, and when he saw that I wouldn't have a child with him without him marrying me, that's when he came now, and he came 100% prepared to convince me to marry him, and that's what he did. So when we started dating in December, like, to answer your question, he walked me into, convinced me into falling for him, which I mean, it's okay. Yeah, like, I like him. I really did. But to, like, in love, I don't think I was a
Okay.
100%. I really don't think so. But it was something that I was growing into, and I thought it would work. And I was hoping for it to work. And remember, we're very good friends. So the
That's
friendship was
that's the
like,
other thing. You've
we
known
could
each
talk
other
about,
forever,
yes, we could
right?
talk about every and anything we could. Now,
Hmm.
the issue now with this relationship came to intimacy, which was the awkwardness. And at the beginning, I felt like maybe this is just awkward because we are living from being friends, transitioning into relationship.
Right.
But it never got better. Never.
So the intimacy was not popping. It wasn't. It
It
just wasn't.
it wasn't. It wasn't at all. It wasn't. It was, he would do the best he could to stay away from me. But when it came to wedding planning, he was 1000% engaged. And like,
So he's really gung ho about wedding planning. He's really gung ho about baby, but when it
yes,
comes to doing the act so that you can actually make a baby,
Yes.
it was just not, it wasn't happening. And it
Yes.
wasn't even happening a lot, right?
But at all, at all. For someone who had been threatening me for 5 years prior before we started dating, with making me a baby mama, for someone to tell me that I have been his childhood crush, if you've told me, you've been threatening me, you've like throwing it out there, let's have a baby, 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 baby. You are telling me I've been your childhood crush, and then now we're together. We're in a hotel on the 43rd floor in Times Square, and barely
It's
any action is
romantic, the
happening.
ambiance is good,
Everything,
and it's
everything is
still
set,
not popping.
like everything is set up, like, and I'm just like, so at that point I felt like, well, maybe he's just too timid, maybe it's gonna get better, but it never got better, never.
And that's what we as women do, right? Like we will keep trying to convince ourselves, right? It will
Mhm.
be like, yeah, it's got to be this and it's got to be that, because the logical part of us steps in and we're saying, well, it's just got to be that we've been friends for so long, but now we're moving here. So, maybe it's just going to take some time. But then at some point, that doesn't work anymore, right? Because
Yeah.
if you, like, let's just say you and him were not childhood friends and you just met a man,
Mhm.
we would immediately recognize those red flags. Like, you're not
Immediately.
ever able to go to where he lives. Even though you talk every day, we all know you can talk to somebody all day, every day. And that doesn't mean that they're still living a life that you don't know about, right? Especially if you're not
Exactly.
in the same state. So,
Mhm.
because of the fact that you guys are childhood friends and you've known each other, you've been talking to each other all these years, you stayed in contact, you share so much about each other, the trust is there, you're going to automatically feel like, you know what? Yeah, I can, that whole saying, I don't like to use the word devil, but the devil is better than the devil you don't know, right? So
Yes.
that's why you let your guard down and you were constantly
Yes.
trying to explain away why things didn't seem right. So now, fast forward to he proposes to you in front of your mother, the traditional thing that we do. And by the way, before I go to my next question, there's a question here. Did he have any gay friends?
So I did not. He never told me that his best friend was gay. So now the revelation comes at the end when he finally reveals that his best friend is gay after I have been digging and digging and digging for 8+ months. At the beginning, he never told me. He just told me about his best friend. Then he set the stage, telling me him and his best friend, they don't talk and they have not spoken to each other in 2 years. And he equally told me that's the only friend he has in Minneapolis. Most of his friends are outside of Minneapolis, DC, Chicago, Boston, and all of that. So I never spoke to this best friend, but for a man, that was another red flag. For a man to always talk about his friend and call him best friend, he never called this guy by his name.
And just to back it up a bit, every time you said you wanted to go to Minneapolis, he would give you a
Yes.
different story. First, he would say it's too cold, and just
That
tell some of the sort of the excuses that he used why you can never come there.
Yes. So we were in New York for the New Year and we separated on January 1st. So he were at the airport and he was flying out to Minneapolis and flying to Houston. So while we're at the airport, I'm like, okay. And he tells me right there, like I told you, he was very enthusiastic about planning the relationship and the wedding. While we're there, he tells me, hey, I want us to meet at least once every month, like minimum, once every month. So let's plan for our next meeting end of this month. I'm like, okay, cool. But actually, remember, I told him, I'm like, remember, Valentine's Day is in 6 weeks. So we can plan for that, except, we can see before that. But I would like to come to Minneapolis for Valentine's Day. And he's like, he immediately, like I had not finished my sentence. He's like, oh, no, 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 no. Minneapolis is very cold. It's too cold in the summer. In the
As if
winter,
you can't wrap up, and you're as if you're going to be
exactly.
outside, sleeping outside, and you can't wrap up
Sleeping
and get
outside.
warm.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh well, you're not gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna be able to show you around. It's really, don't worry, don't worry. He told me, don't worry. During the summer, you're gonna enjoy it. Oh my gosh, that was the first red flag that I did not know was a red flag. Now, um, Valentine's Day comes. He comes down to Houston, and then after he leaves, we're talking, and I'm like, oh hey, I want to come visit. He tells me, oh, I already paid my flight. I'm coming in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, no problem. He comes. When he comes, he leaves. No, when he came that time, that's when he gave me the ring. So when he leaves, the very week after he gave me the ring, and I'm just like, okay, I just got engaged. And back then I had quit my job a month prior to that engagement. So I just quit my job. I'm not working, I'm engaged. I want to go spend like a week or two with my fiance. Like, I'm so excited.
Of
I'm
course.
getting married. I'm all emotional. I'm in love. And I called him that week. I got engaged on a Sunday. And that Thursday we're talking. I'm like, oh, I want to come visit you. Now that I'm not doing anything about, I was taking, and it's not like I wasn't doing anything. I was taking this course online. So I'm like, now that I'm taking this course online, I can just be anywhere. I want to come spend a week or two with you. He's like, oh, no, 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 babe, don't worry. Remember, it's still very cold. I already, by the way, I already bought my ticket. I'm coming in 3 weeks. And then he immediately switched and started talking about wedding planning. He's like, oh, what do you think? Do you want us to have a big wedding or a small wedding? And I'm sitting
Deflecting.
there.
He was deflecting.
He was
Deflecting.
deflecting. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I just got engaged to this guy and I want to go spend a week or two with you. And you're telling me it's still very cold. I'm not coming to Minneapolis to stay in the street. Except you're
Exactly.
homeless. Except you're
Exactly.
homeless.
And when you get engaged, it's like honeymoon phase galore. I mean, the happiness, the euphoria of it all,
Oh my
you see the world
gosh.
in technicolor. And even when you're planning your wedding, which, like you said, he was like literally groomzilla. Like, we'll get to that. But
Yeah. So, but remember the engagement, when he gave me the ring, he had been in Houston for 24 hours. He came Saturday at 1 p.m. He left Sunday at 2 p.m. And he gave me the ring. 10 minutes after he gave me the ring, he was on his way back to go see his mom. So after the
all of this
engagement,
is just performative. Performative.
yes, after the ring, he did not stay. He wouldn't miss that bus for anything. Like, he was in a hurry. He kept looking at the time. He kept looking. So he gave me the ring, and within 15 minutes, he was gone. After he gave me the ring. But my mom was here. We were all excited. That was another big red flag, but I did not see it as a red flag then. Guess what? I just got engaged. I'm 40. I just got engaged. I'm happy. Oh, he has to go see his mom. And I'm like, okay, well, he told me his sibling was out of town and she wasn't coming back till the next day, but there were other family members at home. You just got engaged. They could take care of mom, till
Exactly.
tomorrow or something. But he left immediately. And then that week, I'm telling you, I'm going to come visit you. I just got engaged. I'm all excited. I'm just in my, honeymoon stage in my mind. Like, okay, let me go and spend some time with him. And he said, no, he already, oh, don't worry, babe. I already, remember, it's still very cold. I already paid my flight. I'm coming in 3 weeks or something. And I'm just like, what is wrong with this guy? So after that, there was a time when he came and he went and visited his mom. That was the Memorial Day weekend, Memorial Day that year, last year, was Monday, May 27th. So he comes and visits his mom, and naturally, I thought he was gonna, like, I'm just expecting him. He's just 2 hours away. He's gonna come. So he comes on a Monday. On a Friday, I'm talking to him, and we had been talking all week. Oh my gosh. So I talked to him and he's like, I'm like, oh, are you heading to take the bus to come to Houston? Because there's this luxury bus line that, shuttles between this city and Houston. And he's like, oh, no, I'm actually going to the airport. I'm like, oh, I thought you were going to take the bus. He's like, oh, no, I'm flying back to Minneapolis. I'm like, wait a minute, what are you going to do in Minneapolis? It's a holiday weekend. I thought when you come over there, you're going to come here. And we didn't even talk about this all week because I just assumed you're going to come here since it's a holiday weekend. And then from here, He's like, oh no, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, because we had an argument a few weeks prior to that because I was trying to get a ticket and to come visit him and he refused. And I told him, look, I think you're hiding something in Minneapolis. And I really got pissed off for a minute, like for 2 days. Then we started talking back again. So he used that as an excuse. He said, I thought you were still mad at me. And you remember last time we had an argument, you said, I don't want you to come to Minneapolis. I'm hiding something. So I felt like maybe you were not wanting to see me. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? So that weekend, I literally wanted to break up with him. Like on my TikTok series, I explain everything. Like I have the screenshots. Instead of breaking up with him that weekend, because of all the pressure and and everything, and we had already started wedding planning and all of that, I felt like, you know what, Sheila, you're 40 years old. Just have a calm, cool head. Let me get to the bottom of this. And I sent him all
It's
this.
back to that pressure, right?
Yes,
40-year-old
yes. So
woman. Yeah, yeah.
we
That
just got
pressure.
engaged. He's about to get married. If I break up this engagement 2 months after the engagement, because this was May, we got married in March. If I break up this engagement 2 months after the engagement, like what am I going to tell people? That he doesn't see me? We are barely intimate. We're barely, I was like, you know what? Let me just give it a minute. But normally, the normal me, oh, I would have broken up with him. But that time, because the engagement I was engaged, wedding planning, families were already involved. I sent him long list of my grievances. Like I have it, long list. I told him everything that I think that is wrong in this relationship, every single thing. So when I sent that to him, he read it and he was like, oh man, then he got called me now because Memorial Day was that Monday. So on Tuesday, the 28th, he calls me. He's like, oh, he's very sorry. He's really sorry. He sincerely apologizes. Actually, what he's going to do, he's going to plan for a trip to come and really spend a long period here with me. So that's what he said. So when he said that, I was like, in my mind, I'm like, but wait a minute. Remember, he's still not inviting me. He's still not telling me,
Right.
hey,
You're still not
let me
letting you
come to
come to
Minneapolis. He's
Minneapolis.
still not letting me come. So he apologizes. Then he tells me, oh, let me check my schedule. I need to plan. We need to spend a long time together. Guess what? He tells me he's going to come to down south to Texas on June 19th, and he's going to stay here to July 10th. And I'm like, okay, no problem. He's going to come June 19th, go see his mom. And then on Sunday, June, I think it's the 21st, he's going to come to Houston and be with me from the 21st till July 10th. And I'm like, okay, cool. Guess what I did, Emma? Because I had to ambush him. I'm like, I sat down. I'm like, okay, but this guy.
Point you do. At this point, you do because you keep
Yes.
saying no. I can't come to Minneapolis. So you know how we women get down. We just gotta make it happen.
So it was either I show up over there, and like I said, I'm 40. I've become very calm. Like I used to be very hot-headed, like literally. I would have just shown up over there, but I just don't think he was even worth my while to do that. So I was like, you know what? Let me just keep calm. I ambushed this guy. I ambushed him. So the Thursday before he had to fly into Texas on Friday, that Thursday evening around 7 p.m. ish, I called him. I had my computer in front of me. I called him. I'm like, hey, what you doing? He's like, oh, I'm parking. Remember, I'm going to be down in Texas for 3 weeks. I have to make sure everything is set. I'm like, okay, cool. Your flight is leaving. When I arrive tomorrow, he tells me, when are you leaving again? He's like, July 10. I'm like, oh, okay. And your flight is Delta, right? He's like, yep. And it's the 8 p.m. flight. He's like, yep. And then suddenly he's like, why are you asking me all these questions? I'm like, well, actually, I'm in front of the computer right now. I'm on Delta Airline and I'm trying to book this flight. I wanted to make sure that it's the same flight you're going to fly back when you come and spend 3 weeks down here in Texas.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
You to Minneapolis, and that's how I got to Minneapolis.
And what was his reaction? What was his reaction?
When I told him that his voice, his tone of voice, like he paused for like a few seconds, and then he's like, okay. After he's like, I think he realized that, yeah, this is serious. And then he's like, oh yeah.
Girl, right. His blood probably ran cold. He was like, what? And then at this point, what excuse can he give you now? Because you're booking the flight.
Nothing.
You're on the next thing smoking out there.
Because in my mind, I'm like, if he comes and he's here for all this while, that's the middle of summer. By the time he leaves, if I tell him, hey, I'm coming, he's gonna tell me, oh no, I've already paid for a flight, oh this or that. So I already knew that there was gonna be an excuse. So that's how I ambushed him and I got to Minneapolis. And I know why he never wanted me to come, because that was the beginning of the end of our relationship once I step my feet in Minneapolis, because he was just hiding. He never wanted me to come. He just, oh my gosh. And in my mind, I kept saying to myself, the only reason this has lasted for 7 months is because you're my friend. I know you since childhood. There is no way, in any way, in this world where I'm talking to somebody I've never known before, and he would keep coming to my house, and would not invite me to his house and think it's normal. It's not normal.
It's not. And like we said, anybody whose date starts dating somebody, that's usually the first red flag. If you never are able to go to that man's house, you don't know where he's living, how he's living. How many stories can women tell you about how the man is saying, oh, you can't come here because they'll say something like, oh, my living conditions aren't good or
Then
whatever.
you
They'll
find
tell
out
you
he's
whatever they
married
tell you. Then the next thing you know, you're
and
getting
children.
a call from some random woman who says, this is so and so's wife, and how long have you been
Right.
talking to him? So we already
Exactly.
know, we recognize those. What I think is that this man knew that he targeted you. He targeted you because he knows
I
that you
was
guys are childhood friends. You've been in touch all this time. He knows that he has your trust, right? And you
yes.
have his trust. So,
Yes.
and you've never, even though you've never in all the years, because you and I had a conversation and you told me this, you never
Mhm.
known about him being with any woman. Like you never knew anything about his life, but you were
No,
on in touch all
not
this
really.
time. So he knows that he couldn't just go to some random woman in Minneapolis and play that game.
Mhm.
So who
No.
better than somebody that doesn't live in the state, somebody I've known
Mhm.
since I was a child, somebody that I've been in
Mhm.
contact all this time. Like it doesn't
Mhm.
get any better than that, right? So, that's
Yes.
the deception. But now, how did we get to the point where you really found out that he's gay?
So it's a culmination of things, a combination of things. So when we broke up, we did not break up because I found out he was gay. When we broke up is because we just argued. We were wedding planning, and we got into an argument, and I snapped during that argument because I was in my mind. I'm like, okay, that was 2 weeks after I came back from Minneapolis. Not even up to 2 weeks. So when I came back from Minneapolis, you remember there's a lot that happened in Minneapolis, and I'll talk about that because there's a lot that had to do with gay bars, his best friend,
Yeah, we need to.
sexuality,
Yeah,
his
we need
best
to get
friend's
into
older brother who is transgender. So there's a lot that happened in Minneapolis. So when I come back and we argue and I snap in my mind because all of what happened in Minneapolis is still in the back of my mind, and we're arguing, and in my mind I'm like, but this guy, there's a lot you're hiding. There's a lot about I don't know about you. There's a lot you're not telling me. So I told him during that argument, look, I'm tired of us arguing. I feel like I'm planning a wedding with another woman. You're stressing me
Yeah,
out.
because
You want
he
to know
became like Groomzilla, right?
Yes, you want to know every detail about everything, right up to the centerpiece. I'm telling you, this is what you are the one who told me your family wants to sew this traditional outfits, like as a group. Now I've decided I'm going to tell my family, let them sew this traditional outfit as a group. My friends are already sewing theirs. We call it ashrebi. It's like, you just have one fabric and everybody sews whatever they want with that one fabric. So my friends are doing that. Your family, you told me your family have decided they're going to do that. And my family is going to do that. So friends of the bride are doing theirs. Your friends should do theirs. And he tells me, oh, no, 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 that's not what he wants to do. I'm like, look, for this wedding to be coordinated, for like friends of the bride, groom, friends of the groom, family of the bride, family of the groom, that's harmonious. That's harmony. How can I have my friends, your family, my family, and then your friends don't do anything? So I'm trying to make him understand that for the harmony and just to have a beautiful ceremony, he starts arguing with me. He's argued with me about centerpiece color. He's argued with me about chairs, like little things that a woman is supposed to focus on. He wants to be involved in it. And at that point, I was like, I was tired. I'm like, I'm tired of arguing with you. I'm not sure who amongst your grooms or your friends. I remember he had also told me he doesn't want any groomsmen. He doesn't want any groomsmen. So we're gonna get married without any groomsmen, men or bridesmaids. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that without bridesmaids. But if I'm not gonna have bridesmaids, my friends are gonna have to sew their shrebi, which is the cloth, the common cloth. So I'm like, I'm tired of this argument, and I snapped. I told him, look, I don't think we're compatible. I don't think this relationship, things are not working. Things have not been working since from the beginning. Excuse me, things are not working since from the beginning. There's so much that's going on that I need a break. So I told him then, this was July 25, 2024. I need a break. I cannot do this anymore. And I told him that day we need to rethink this entire relationship because I feel like it was a mistake. We left from friendship to relationship. And I told him that day that was on the phone. And then on August 3rd, he came and packed his things. Because remember, I was not going to Minneapolis, but he had been slowly moving to Houston. Because when we started dating, he told me, well, and by the way, when we started dating, he lied to me that he owns the house he's living. He come to find out it's not a house, it's an apartment. He doesn't own it. He's been renting it
It's just nothing but lies. He lied about his whole life.
He lied.
Yes.
So it's after I found out that he doesn't even own that unit. It's an apartment and he doesn't even own it. And he had told me, oh, I own my house, you own your house, but I'll rather move to Houston. And also, he was also pushing for us to move to a new state. I'm like, no, I cannot move to a new state, dude. Like, my house is worth a lot of money. I'm not going to leave it. I moved to another state. What do you want me to do? Like put it on rent? On rent? I mean, I can do that, but that's like, what state do you want us to move? And also, when I asked him, what state do you want us to move? He wouldn't tell me anything. He would just tell me, well, let's think about just moving somewhere neutral, but I don't mind coming. And he was packing his things and bringing, slowly. So on August 3rd, he came and packed his things and left. So when he left, I was actually taken on aback. Like that was a surprise for me, because how you break up with somebody and you're sad. You're like, okay, so this is really done, which was the best thing that happened because we needed to break up. And I still don't know if he's gay or not. But there's a lot that happened in Minneapolis that I'll talk about too, so we can.
Yeah, we got to get to the Minneapolis.
Finally figure out what happened. While I'm in Minneapolis, so we got to Minneapolis on a Wednesday night, on a Thursday morning at 1:30 a.m. So that Thursday evening, we are talking and I'm like, hey, so where are your friends? Let's hang out with your friends. He's like, well, remember I told you I don't have any friends here. I don't hang out. And then he tells me, he smiles. He's like, oh, babe, why are you talking as if I'm always on the phone with you every evening before I go to bed, like for at least 2-3 hours. In my mind, I'm like, I didn't ask you if you're on the phone with me. I asked you where are your friends. Let's hang out. I don't have any friends. That's why I'm always out of town. My only friend is my best friend. He still says best friend. He doesn't call this person's name. My only friend is my best friend. But we remember.
But isn't that the best friend that he's no longer talking to?
Yes. So he's like, my only friend that I have used to be my best friend, but now that we don't talk, so I don't hang out with him anymore. I really don't do stuff. Emma, on Saturday we are driving. And a random person calls some numbers, some person, I've forgotten that name till today. So this person calls, he hesitates. So I'm looking at him because he's driving. I'm looking at him like, so he sees me looking at him. Then that's when he picked up the call. So he picks up the call. He's like, hey, what's up? The guy's like, hey, what's up, buddy? Are you down for poker? It was some game. It was either poker or something, whatever it was. But I think it was a code word for something. Are you down for whatever it is tonight? And he's like, oh, no. He first asked, are you back in town? He's like, yeah, I'm back in town. He's like, are you down for whatever it is tonight? He's like, oh, no, not tonight, and da. He rushes and hangs up the phone. He did not introduce me. I'm your fiance. This is the first time I'm visiting Minneapolis. You just told me on Thursday you don't have any friends. Somebody is calling you, which shows that he is asking if you're down for something. It means every Saturday or quite often, y'all do whatever he was calling you and asking you about.
Exactly.
So before he hung up the phone, Emma, I was looking at this dude like this, literally like this. Like
are you kidding me?
Yes, yeah. He could feel the fear. And I was literally looking at him like, And when he hangs up, he's driving. He's like, oh, by the way, that's my friend, whatever his name is. He's into IT as well. He's married to his wife is a doctor. She's the daughter of some East African president. I don't want to say the name of the country, but she's the daughter of some East African president. She's a doctor. They are good people. They're good people. Oh my gosh. I sat there. I'm like, didn't this guy just tell me on Thursday
he's a liar.
Out with people? I was so pissed. But guess what? We were driving, heading home to go get ready to go visit my uncle.
So now you are in another state and you're still only seeing your family. Okay.
My family.
No,
his sister lives in the state with him. I never saw her. He never took me to her house because she had traveled. I spoke with her on the phone and she told me she was out of town. His uncle as well had traveled, went to Italy or somewhere that summer. And, so I was like, okay. Then he tells me, well, this is why I wanted you to wait for me to organize this trip so that you come when all my people are in town. Blah, blah,
it never would have happened. That trip never would have happened.
So remember in that car, when that guy called, I did not pick a fight with him. When he got done telling me the whole history of who this guy is, I sat quiet. I'm like, because if I pick a fight with this guy, we're not going to end up going to my uncle. And my uncle is waiting for us. So but I was pissed. I was like, the following day, we're driving around Minneapolis. He's showing me around Minneapolis. This is Macy's. This is the community college I went to. And as he's driving, he's like, oh, and by the way, this is the first ever gay bar in America. And I look at him, I'm like, where? He shows me.
What man is telling his fiance about a gay bar? What?
Yes. Till today, I think he regrets that. I think there are two things he regrets telling me, that and one other I'm going to tell him. He's like, this is the first ever gay bar in America. And I'm like, huh? And then he's like, oh, this is the first openly gay bar in America. That was openly gay, And I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense because remember, Minneapolis is known as the gay capital of America. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's why Minneapolis is the gay capital of America, because they had the first ever openly gay bar in America. And then he tells me, oh, yeah, this is the first ever gay bar in America. And we used to come here all the time. And I'm looking at him like, you used to come here all the time? I'm like, what do you mean?
He used to go there all the time.
He probably
not even used to. He probably still goes there.
Still goes.
Yeah.
It's like, we used to come here all the time. And I'm looking at him like, what? Like I did. So I told him, I did not know that straight men go to gay bars. And he tells me, well, what's wrong in going into a gay bar to go support a friend? I'm like, what friend? He's like, well,
okay, so is that the best friend then? Is the best friend gay?
The best friend's older brother is a transgender guy. And he won, and this guy, yes, he's a transgender, and he won an American show for transgender people. He was once a winner.
There is no straight man that says, yes, oh, I'm going to go to a gay bar to support my transgender friend. Like, no.
Yeah, my friends, to go and support my friend's transgender older brother.
No.
He tells me, oh, we used to come here all the time. Remember when my friend's older brother won the talk show, not the talk show, the TV show. It's a transgender TV show. So my best friend's older brother won the TV show. He started performing. He became a performer, and he used to come and perform here, and we used to come here all the time. And I'm like, well, I insisted. I'm like, well, I didn't know that straight men go into gay bars, and especially that often as you're claiming you used to go. And he's like, well, then I immediately asked him, so what about your friend, your best friend? Like, what's wrong? Like, what's up? You guys still don't talk? And each time I bring out the topic of his best friend, his mood always changes. His demeanor changes. His sighs. I can feel like he's hesitating. He wants to say something, but he doesn't want to say it. So I brought up, I'm like, oh, by the way, and this is your best friend. I mean, so you guys still don't talk? He's like, oh, no, we still don't talk. And all of this and all of that. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, but this best friend you're talking about, his name is on our wedding list. His transgender older brother's name is on our wedding list. Their sister's name is on our wedding list.
The thing is, he's not even a good liar. Like, he's not even, like, literally, he let it slip out of his mouth that he goes
Yes.
to gay bars,
Yes.
and then he's trying to cover it up and clean it up by saying that um he's just going to support. What's wrong with going to support? No, 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 dude, no
And
straight
then
guy goes to gay bars. They just don't. What is a straight man doing there? What is a straight man doing at a gay bar? That gay bars are called
more
gay
than
bars in the
once.
region.
No, Emma, the key word is more than once, because you can be in, you can, for example, go on a trip in Las Vegas, for example, and you're on the strip and you guys just walk in and you're like, okay, well, let me just, but for someone to always go to gay bars, then yeah, for a straight man has one time to go into a gay bar that it was like a mistake, or maybe literally you are going to support somebody. And once you've supported that person once, why are you going the second time when you're straight? Why are you going a third time? Why are you going a fourth time?
There's so
So
many
now,
straight men that will not. They'll be like, you know what? I'm good.
not
You're
even the
my
first time, not even one time, they will not.
exactly, exactly, exactly. And I'm just going to the chat here. Watch this guy was on RuPaul. Only one I know from the '90s. You said the TV show. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
we're
mhm,
putting one and one together here.
yes,
The
yes,
TV
yeah,
show.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So in the car, I asked him, so that's the first time I literally asked him, like, okay, is your friend gay? Because he's like, no, he's like, well, I don't know if he's gay or not, but what I will tell you is that he's metrosexual. But what I'll tell
He's
you is that he's
gay.
metrosexual. And
He's
so
gay.
I did not know what metrosexual meant. So I'm like, what does metrosexual mean? He's like, oh, you have your phone, check it. So I take my phone and I check it. And so as I check it, he's calm, his demeanor. It's like if he could just, engulf himself within himself, like just disappear, he would have done that. So I Google it and I'm like, oh, well, it's a man that is kind of like just well groomed. He has to make sure that doesn't really say anything. It's either your friend is gay or not. Yeah.
Exactly.
And he still wouldn't tell me if his friend is gay or not. Then he tells me his friend doesn't talk to anybody. He has removed himself from the from the Cameroonian community. Even him, he doesn't talk to him. He doesn't know. Da, da, da. I remember I have a lot of family in Minneapolis. So that day we were gonna go to my second uncle's house. And this my uncle had cooked. He had literally cooked, invited his friends, people. He's like, oh, my younger sister is coming to show her husband to me. I feel so honored. He cooked. So again, that day, I did not want to start asking him too many questions to get to the bottom of this, his best friend and all of that. So I absorbed all the information he gave me. I'm like, yeah, your best friend is metrosexual. At that point, I started suspecting that his best friend is gay. But guess what, Emma? In nothing, nowhere in my mind did I suspect that he is gay. And that allegedly this boyfriend is this best friend is his boyfriend.
He's his man. So I have a
Is his
question for
man.
you.
Yeah.
What about, so you went to his house? Was there anything in his home that may have like just set off even more alarms? Like
Thank you.
anything?
Yes. Thank you for that question. So when I went to his house, Emma, remember there was a time I got mad at him. I told him, oh, you're hiding something. Da, da, da. When I got to Minneapolis and I entered his apartment, I looked around. I was like, this apartment doesn't look like an apartment that a woman has ever entered in it.
What did it look
Yes.
like, sis?
Yes. It didn't. Like when I tell you it didn't, it I mean, we are not together. I really don't want to trash talk about on him right now. So
I
I'm
just
just
want
gonna
to
be
know
just
if there was anything that like
I'm
would
gonna be
look like,
respectful.
okay, this is, picture of him and some dude, like just anything that
There
would.
were no pictures anywhere. There were no pictures anywhere. But the state of the apartment was not an apartment where I would think a woman comes there and spends the weekend all the time.
But is there
Or
anything
once
that would scream that he's gay? Because some,
inside the apartment. No.
yeah,
No, apart
nothing.
from
Okay.
his clothes, because he's a very masculine looking man. He does not, there's
That was going to be my
nothing,
next question. Like,
yeah, there's nothing
was there
effeminate
anything that
about
was
him.
kind of like effeminate about him or anything
There's
like
only
that?
two things. Yes, there's only two things I noticed that were effeminate about him. Number one is that he had told me from the get go that he does not like manual labor. Manual labor is what? It's like if you have to lift, carry, lift, do hard work, do things. I remember him telling me that there was this guy in Minneapolis that loads containers. So he loads containers, cars into containers, things into containers, and he had called them at some point to come and do that. And she went and did it, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like that kind of work, physical
Oh, so
stuff.
he's, yeah, that sort of bravado manual type.
Providers, yes, he told me he doesn't like that because this guy in Minneapolis had called him to come and help him load the container, and he did that day. He's like, oh no, he doesn't like this kind of work. So when he told me that, I was like, that's weird for a man to say he doesn't like,
Yeah.
work that requires. But he goes to the gym. He goes to the gym and lifts weights and does all those things. He looks very strong, masculine. But you're telling me you don't like doing work that requires you to use your power, your strength. So that was a red flag. The second red flag was when we were wedding planning, he was arguing too much. So that was
like a bridezilla.
Yeah, so that was the other effeminate side that I saw of him.
Yeah.
I'm like, what guy is this that is always, and he also likes to always be well dressed. But being well dressed is not a problem, We're Africans. We have our men really like to look good, to dress well. So that was not something that I found weird.
Yeah.
But it was just the argument. I'm like, this guy is arguing too much. He's not.
For me, not to mention the fact that I still haven't moved on from we used to go to this gay bar. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, and one more thing, Emma. One time he came and I told him to hang because I'm very handy. I can braid my own hair. Like I'm very handy. I can do anything with my hands. I can like literally. So he came one time and I bought a mirror. I wanted to hang it in my closet. So I was like, hey, I can do it. I've hung everything in my house. I hung it myself because I'm very handy. I love it. So I'm a DIY kind of girl. So I was like, well, he's a man. He's here. I let him hang the mirror.
And a muscular man too.
He never hung that mirror. He looked at it. He
was probably like, didn't know how.
Never hung that mirror. And then there was a time my dryer got bad, so I went on the internet and I found out how, because I thought it was clogged. So I went and got the stuff. I was like, let me just figure out if we can fix it ourselves. So I got it. I tried to have this guy figure it out. He didn't. I ended up having to call somebody. So these are the little things that I could tell that he was quite a little bit effeminate, but physically, just looking at his appearance, he is not.
Well, sis, I'm just going to the chat here. There's a request to have him on the show, and you and him, and let's talk it out and let him tell his side of the story.
Let him tell his side of the story.
Somebody else, right? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I don't think he would do it, but hey, if he's watching, you're more than welcome.
Ever since I told him he's gay, I know he's gay. I gave him all the details. He has never responded till today, not a word. And nobody in his family has.
And that response is a response, because if he wasn't, what straight man is going to allow that narrative to go around?
Never. I have the proof on my messages. He has never said a word. He disappeared. At some point, he blocked me. None of his family members have said a word. And I'm sitting here. I'm like,
he's gone and he's hid.
I know what's going on. I know you targeted me. I know this is everything, and I know who your man is. I know this is. I know everything.
Exactly. This was a very strategic, plan, and I think this is my theory, as an African, as a Ghanaian, is that he wanted to hide his life from his family. Yeah. He didn't want his family to think that he's living this life of being a gay person, and you didn't even really have to like bust him. He literally let you know by saying that whole gay bar thing. And then when you piece everything together in hindsight, then you think about the fact that he would never let you come there. And even when you finally had to ambush him to get there, then by the way, he first was giving you the excuse that it's winter, now it's summer, and he still wasn't letting you come. So you had to ambush him, and you finally got there in the summer. And then even through that, you still never saw any friends. You still never met any family. Like, those red flags now make sense when you connect the dots all the way to that one.
We're barely intimate. The
Yeah.
only time he's enthusiastic about talking about anything is when he wants to wedding plan. That's all he was
Because that's
focused
all
on.
part of that's all part of the show, right?
Yes, yeah. And then oh my gosh, this guy. So when we finally broke up, one of his family members was like, "Oh, you guys should do therapy just so you can, because you guys were friends before. This is an abrupt breakup. And you guys are in the middle of wedding planning. Just do therapy so you can work it out and separate amicably and stuff like that." So Emma, it's during therapy that all the red flags. That's when I started looking at everything retrospectively,
Yeah.
without emotion, without the pressure of marriage, of anything. Like at that point, I was no longer influenced by pressure. I was no longer influenced by duty, like, oh, you have to get married.
Right.
And the therapist was an older guy in his 60s, so African American guy. And when this guy was asking him questions from man to man, that's when my eyes opened up.
Oh, I
That's
can
when
only
I'm like,
imagine.
oh my gosh. So I'm
I
not the
can
one that
only
is crazy.
imagine. Oh
So
my
when the
gosh.
therapist is asking me questions, some of them I have them on recording. I'm not talking because I have evidence, because someone told me, "Oh, are you not afraid for suing for defamation?" I say, "You guys should sue me." Then that's when I bring forth my evidence. He has a sibling that's a lawyer. Yep, I know that. So,
This is
during therapy, that's when I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this guy, he he is not straight. That's why nothing makes sense."
he really duped you. He
He took me.
really
Even the
duped you.
therapist was shocked. The therapist at some point asked him, "Dude, do you know this is a woman you came and engaged? She's going to be your wife. You have to share everything with her. Why, first of all, would you tell her that you need to go check?" Because there was a point we had an issue where he told me he has to go check with his family first before he can get back to me if I should come and visit him. Why would you say that to a woman that you're about to spend the rest of your life
He
with?
ran out of
And
excuses.
he got 1,000,001 excuses for me not to come visit.
Yeah.
And also, why would you not want a woman? She's not even supposed to ask you to come and visit you. She's supposed to just get up, be on the flight, and be like, "Hey, I'm at the airport. Come pick me up." This
Listen,
doesn't make any sense.
we all know if a man wants to see you, he will move mountains to make sure that he sees you. And again, a man that has asked you to marry him, this should not even be a debate about who's going to see who. And you want your woman to come and see the life you live, how you live, where you live. You should even have keys. You should have everything. You should have all the access in the
That's
world.
what
This
the
is somebody you're
therapist
spending
told
the rest
him.
of your life with. So
That's
it
what
doesn't
the
even.
therapist told him. The therapist told him, and the therapist said that day, unless there's something else you're hiding. When I tell you, that was a light bulb moment. And at that moment, I was like, if there's anything else he's hiding, it's not a woman, because that house I went to doesn't look like a house a woman gets in. Like I
Yeah.
told you, I don't want to tell you guys the condition of this house because
Yeah.
it's not a house. Then that's when I'm like, his friend, his best friend, he's this, he's that. So that weekend after therapy, I had a phone call with him. I'm like, "Hey, what?" That's when he actually, like, I literally, I'm like, "Look, I know you told me your best friend is what was it again? Metrosexual. I heard he's gay. So is your friend gay or not?" When I said I heard he's gay, is your friend gay? That's when he said, "Yeah, his friend is gay." I was like, "Yeah,
And his friend is his man, period. And he'll never
yeah."
admit it to you, but he pretty much admitted it when he said he goes to that bar. And all it did, like I said, is
Look,
connect all the dots together. And
oh my gosh,
I'm just going to the chat again. Somebody here is saying, "I've been trying to guess who this guy is. He was also my classmate."
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
So
somebody here has said, "Look at her. He was a fool." That
a
is
big fool.
true. But so I just in wrapping this up,
Yeah.
what would you say to any woman? And I'm sure there are some women who maybe might be in a situation like this, or maybe they haven't, but they're not experienced in being in the dating world or whatever. What advice would you give to somebody in this kind of scenario where it's somebody it's somebody and even if it's not somebody just the red flags to pay attention to, and what's the lesson in this whole situation?
Yes, which is exactly why I decided to start talking about this a year and a half later. Because I was like, it's either I keep quiet about this, or and somebody else finds themselves in the same situation, or I talk about it. Because first, friendship, you have to be careful when you're friends with a man or with anybody, because your enemy is never too far away. This guy knew me, Emma. This guy knew I had saved my ex. Because at some point in life, I'd saved my ex in 2020. I'd saved my ex for my I'm just gonna save my fertility. I don't know when I'm gonna get married. He knew that. He targeted me. So people, women have to be careful, because you know somebody doesn't mean that they want the best for you.
Exactly.
The easiest prey is a prey that you've studied. You've
Yes.
studied for a while, because you know how to get them. You know what their soft points are, their soft spots
Yeah.
are. So she knew that. And this red flags, these friendship things, my best friend does. So like the purpose of me coming out to talk about relationships, like Emma, everybody knows I'm a very private person, but for me to come out and talk, I was like, I need to talk. I need to put out all these red flags. I haven't even said anything. We're an hour into it.
I know.
And I haven't said, I literally have not enumerated and
I
named
feel like
all the
there
red
needs to
flags.
be a part two. I feel like there needs to
No,
be a
for real.
part two. We have
Yes,
to do
because
a part two.
there were a lot of red flags, a lot
Yeah.
of it. Like I was swimming in it.
For
But I kept
me,
saying to myself, this is my friend. So women have to be careful. And
yeah.
also when you're dating somebody, make sure like I said, this year I'm not dating, I'm not ready to date, but somehow I found myself going out on 2 dates so far, which I don't know how it happened. It just came my way and I just couldn't say no. So I make sure I ask men, like, have you been with a man before? Literally, like
And
I
and you
have to
know
ask that.
what? That shouldn't even be an offensive question in this day and
It's
age.
true. No. Oh no,
Do
no, no. I
do
do.
do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do. I just started one, so because I need to start talking about this, I have my YouTube channel is Popintos, like at Popintos on the screen, Popintos Media. That's my YouTube channel.
And what's your
I'm on TikTok
TikTok
as
as
well.
well for
Uh,
people? Mhm.
TikTok is popintos.sheila. So I've posted a lot of this on TikTok, but it's just like short versions of it. So I'm gonna post like the whole uncut story on YouTube. So if you're watching, just follow me on YouTube, or you can go on TikTok as well and watch the snippets, the little videos on TikTok. I'm not done uploading though, so I still have about 3 videos I'm gonna upload to just finalize the whole story.
Yeah, follow Sheila. And again, the lesson really is, just because he's your friend, it doesn't mean it's somebody that is sometimes if they're your friend for a reason. And you just
Yeah.
kind of leave it there. So just because he's your friend, and oftentimes women will be like, oh, I've known him all my life. What better? Okay. That doesn't mean you ignore the red flags, right? So that I
Yeah,
feel like,
and also do not think past what a man presents to you. That's really
yeah,
one lesson I want to tell people, because if I had just said to myself, this guy, when he came initially, he was just asking baby, baby, baby. Why is he now suddenly saying marriage, marriage, marriage? If I was not under that pressure, like, women, please don't be under pressure. If I wasn't under that pressure that I want to get married, let me get married, I would have been clear headed and been like, okay, when he came initially, it was just baby, baby. What makes me
yeah,
think that he's just coming to marry me just because he still wants to have that baby and he will probably leave, which is what
yeah,
I should have thought about. But because I
yeah.
was under pressure and I wanted to get married as well because of pressure, and pressure is not good. That's another lesson that we need to learn from this.
Yep. And Sheila says, be your own private
Another lesson.
detective. And one
Yes.
Uncle Kel says, look deep before you leap. I mean, it's just literally women in general. You tap into your woman's intuition. It's a gift that was given to us by God. We have to
Mhm.
not ignore in our gut. The gut doesn't lie, and like you
For
said, there's so many single women. And, a lot of us will say to ourselves, I don't want to. And you put these deadlines. I'm 40. Oh, no, my eggs are scrambling. I'm 50. I got to get somebody before I turn 50. I got to get somebody before I turn. And we just need to throw all that away and make sure
yes.
it's the person that's right for you. And that really is the biggest lesson in all of this. But as I said, We have to wrap up. I'm so sorry. I feel like this went so fast. There's so much more I want to talk
Hey,
about. So I feel like there
mhm.
needs to be a part two. So we need to make
Sure.
a part two because I feel like there are so many women that can really relate to this. And
Mhm.
men to some extent too is like the lesson for men is stop playing with women's feelings. Don't play with women. Don't do that to them. It's not fair. If you've decided to live that lifestyle and leave women alone. Be a man, be a woman, whatever it is you want to be, and just live your truth. But
Mhm.
don't mess with another woman. That's wrong and
Yeah,
that's despicable. And that's what I have to say
exactly.
to this individual. And I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to end it with you all, but thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for listening to Sheila's story. Sheila, thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for being so transparent and open. And as I
My
said,
pleasure.
we're going to have a part two for sure. Follow
Mm-hmm.
Sheila at Popintos on YouTube,
And
and on TikTok, and she'll continue her story, and we'll be back again to talk about this. Okay. So in the
thank
meantime,
you.
thank you so much for tuning in, and I shall see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Emma.
Bye.